At the end of this week will mark 1 year since the shutdown happened due to the COVID pandemic. Here at LifePoint, we had 2 months that we shut our doors to in-person services. During those 2 months, we got to experience what it would be like if there were no church services held, not just here in our community or in Arizona or the country, but across the world. Honestly, it was a horrible time. When you talk with people who went through it, and I've talked with many people, our congregants specifically, it's depressing time. There was a lack of connection, a lack of communication, a lack of direction. And while online streaming services were pretty awesome and great that it was there and we had the capability, it certainly wasn't a replacement for the fellowship. You can see now why there is the command to not forsake the fellowship of the gathering together, because it's in gathering with one another that we not only hold each other accountable, but we have to go through the difficulty of getting up, going somewhere, listening, worshiping, getting out of our own self, getting out of our own worries, fears, depressions, whatever's going on, to come together to worship God. One cause, one goal as you come together. So you can worship God all week by yourself, and you can listen to podcasts and music and read the Word. There's something different about corporate worship. With that in mind, as we sit here at the year anniversary, this last Sunday, I talked about something that we here at LifePoint are really excited to introduce, so to speak, which is covenant relationship. I explained what a covenant is. We talked about covenant. If you'd like to know more about that, you can watch the sermon from last Sunday. But covenant relationship for us is what we see all throughout Scripture. It's what Jesus talks about. It's what Paul talks about. It's the personal relationship of each of his letters that we call our New Testament, is all about the local church and how people interact with one another. How do they interact not just with one another, but how do they interact to the leadership, the elders, the pastors, the overseers, the deacons, right? These are all positions we see in the New Testament church. And it's actually really specific, not on trivial things, but on very real life-changing things like accountability, discipline, oversight, care. All of these things, God actually had a purpose and a plan for it. And so what we saw in those 2 months when COVID shut everything down is because we, as the leaders at LifePoint, elders, pastors, deacons, did not have what we're calling covenant relationship, it was really hard to know, where were people at? How were they feeling? Did we have updated contact info? Were we already in a continual relationship? Are the people at LifePoint assigned to a pastor or an elder to be able to call them, check in on them, either on a bi-weekly or monthly basis? And the fact of the matter is, we didn't have that. Most churches our size don't have something like that. And really, we don't want that, right? Not us as leadership, but I mean us as people in the church. That level of accountability can feel like it's overstepping a little bit. There are things, it's like, I like my pastor, I'll go to him when I want to go to him, or I'll go to the pastor I know when I want to, but I don't need him keeping tabs on me. I don't want them asking why I wasn't at church on this Sunday. I don't want them following up with me about an issue in my life that I talked about months ago. And honestly, it's foregoing the responsibility of accountability and discipline. So when the leadership of LifePoint looked at that, and we said, although this may be difficult, although it's awkward and can be something that we know people don't want, we are leaving a responsibility that is given to us by Jesus in the New Testament to be overseers, to take an account for those who are part of our flock, right? To take an account, that we will give an account. There will be an expectation on the leadership for those who God brought into our care. And it's not just going to be, did you sing great worship? Did you provide a place for Bible studies? Did you teach the gospel? It's how did you care for the people? Did you make disciples? Did you bring discipline when discipline was needed? Did you bring mercy when mercy was needed, right? And so covenant relationship, over the next 2 weeks, you're going to hear me talk a lot more about that. What's that mean to be in covenant relationship with LifePoint? What's it look like just to keep the status quo of relationship at LifePoint? But whatever you choose, I suggest over the next few days here leading up to this Sunday's message, please pray. Please be in prayer. If you're married, be in prayer with your spouse about it, and make it something that you have put before God not just already written off or already honestly also jumped on and said, yes, we'll do it, but enter it into prayer. I'll see you Sunday. Thanks so much.